What up, world? It's your boy Mark Walter Ward, Super Fast Show, Super Fast Network. Today we got with us my man Armenia, who is just accomplished across the board, one of the best new lyricists I heard in a while. Right now he's pushing his new song with French Montana that is just ridiculously catchy, Yalla Habibi. Before we even produced by Scott Storch at that. Before we even get into that, what does he say directly after Yalla Habibi?
He says, Wallahi, Yalla Habibi, Wallahi. Wallahi means like on God, swear to God. You know what I'm saying? And that's obviously Arabic. I don't even speak Arabic. I'm Armenian, but Yalla Habibi is something that is just such a common term amongst like all Middle Easterns. You know what I'm saying? Yalla is something we say all the time. So that's kind of how I thought of the concept. I'm like, I need to do a record called Yalla Habibi, but make it like a hip hop record. Like in the Middle Eastern world, there's a lot of songs called Yalla Habibi. Like when we had like weddings or family gatherings or whatever, we hear those type of songs. So one day I was like, yo, I need to make a hip hop record, like a club record, call it Yalla Habibi and get French on it. And then I made it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you ain't never lied, because when I looked up the meaning, man, I swear to God, the first like you know when you do a Google search, right? It hardly ever be on the main jump. Everything's videos, right?
Right.
It was nothing. It was nothing but videos of different songs called that, and you know they was all non-American. I don't want
right.
say
It's
the
all
wrong
like
thing.
it's all in the Middle Eastern world, you know. So and I just felt like coming from where I come from and getting French on the record. Obviously, French is Moroccan. They speak Arabic. I'm like, we got to give them a piece of the culture. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I wanted to drop this as like my first single coming out with all this new music. Because it's almost like an introductory joint too at the same time, you know.
But let's say this shit super properly to give you your flowers, brother. Because I mean, like you have the ability to say an epic sentence. Because you could out your mouth say, "This is my first single with French Montana on my Def Jam album that is entirely produced by Scott Storch."
Yeah,
Which features.
actually, it's not Def Jam. I don't know. That's actually not correct. I'm fully independent. I'm not signed to Def Jam or anything.
Oh, okay, my bad. Well, either way, so let's strike that
the rest
part.
Of that was on point.
But then also you can add featuring Nas, Offset, Quavo, Ty Dolla $ign.
Yeah, so all of those are unreleased. But I kind of started saying it in interviews and posting it on IG. At first, I was trying to keep all my guest appearances a secret, but then it kept coming out. So now I just say it. Like I'm sitting on all this music with Scott Storch, and yeah, I've been blessed to have some amazing features as well. So this French one is really the first one. The joint with Nas that's gonna come soon is like ridiculous.
I'm sure.
And Nas is my favorite rapper ever. So just the fact that that happened was, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, Offset, Quavo, Ty, YG. I got a lot of songs I'm sitting on. I'm kind of figuring out how to like release and, in what order and all that. So.
Like by yourself solo, like you, like if I listen to so much of your music today, and at least like more than half of my favorite were just you by yourself. But that being said, you got some outstanding, you worked with Joe Budden, Styles P, King Crooked, like straight up lyricists. But yeah. I know that you got several songs with Method Man, and I'm curious if you'd agree with this statement. I think that Circus is the best song you did with Method Man, or at least it was my favorite. I don't know what best means. It was my favorite though,
I'm kind of happy you said that. So Circus that's my song. So the first joint I did with Method Man was on a Wu-Tang album. In 2017, they did an album called The Saga Continues. It was produced by DJ Mathematics, who's like, he always worked under RZA, but he's one of their in-house producers. But he's also the Wu-Tang DJ. And if you watch the Wu-Tang show, he's the guy that, because he's an artist as well, like a visual artist. He designed the Wu-Tang logo, you know what I'm saying? So I met Mathematics, a few years ago through a friend of mine, Sister Asia. Shout out to Sister Asia. And, he was like super impressed with what I was doing. And one day he just hit me like, yo, I got this song. Meth already dropped, 24 bars on it. You want to hop on the second verse? I'm like, hell yeah. I didn't even know what it was for. And I had already met Method Man. I'd opened some shows for him. He had wore like our merch on stage. Like he showed me love, but we had never done a song together. So, I went crazy on that song. And then I ended up on a Wu-Tang album. Like one day I just woke up to all these texts like, congratulations. I'm like, what happened? And they had announced the new Wu-Tang album and I was on that. That was back in 2017. So that was amazing. And then fast forward to like last year, I started working with Scott Storch in like right before the pandemic, like 2019. And then when I had that circus song with my man Kabaka Pyramid on the hook, you know what I mean? Sick reggae artist. He signed to Damian Marley. That's my dog. So I was like, I need meth on this joint. And I just DM'd him, you know what I mean? He's like, I got you. Like 2 weeks later, he just sent it to me. Went crazy. So yeah, that song came out fire. So it's one of my favorites to perform too. Like every time I have a show, I did all 3 Rolling Louds last year. Like when that shit drops, like the crowd really goes crazy. So shout out to Meth and Kabaka, you know?
Shit, I can imagine. Just out of curiosity, why you think some artists from back then, like Meth, translate and others don't? You know, like they still try to do it. Because like without saying no names, like I ain't gonna say Method Man got better, because it's hard to get better as good as he was, but he definitely ain't lose nothing. But like it seems like some cats get like aggressively mediocre, but then you got other cats that get way better as they age. Like what you think be causing that now that you've had some insight?
That's a great question, bro. Like, you know, I've been doing this for a minute too. So if I would like look into the future and see another 10, 15 years later, I guess it's really like having the passion for it. So you're willing to put in the effort. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of times people just do it just to do it. So let me just do this verse real quick, not overthink it. They try to do it quick. You know, a lot of people nowadays, they brag about, you. I did 3 songs in 20 minutes. Like, you know, I don't really see that as a bragging point. Like I'd rather just really take my time and craft a masterpiece, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like artists like Meth, or like, wait till you hear the verse Nas gave me, like people like that, like, or you heard the last 3 Nas albums, you know what I'm saying? Like people like that are just like, it's just greatness, you know what I'm saying? And that greatness comes from like that internal passion never dying. So they still want to, you know, they still want to outdo themselves. They still want to, you know what I mean? And they still in tune with what's happening, even though they true to what they do, you know what I mean? They don't sound dated or like, you know, they stay in tune with society and with hip hop culture right now. So I guess that's, you know, that's probably what it is. But, you know, Meth is just one of the greats. You know, it's not a lot of people that still, you know what I mean, can keep up. Like Meth was on the last Dave East album. When he comes in, I don't know if you heard that, like it's insane. You know what I mean? Like his flow is still the same as like, you know, and all the you know, when I was a young kid and I got introduced to Wu-Tang was instantly my favorite group. Like I had like an older family friend who introduced me to a lot of hip hop. That's how I learned about, you know what I mean, a lot of like, you know, Nas Illmatic, and then he Tribe Called Quest and Wu and shit. And like, you know, Meth was always my favorite just because like the way he would come in, his flow, his charisma on the track, you know, even though I wouldn't really understand lyrics at the time just yet, you know what I mean, or fully understand it. Just the presence on the track, you know what I mean, says a lot. And Meth just still has that 100%. You know,
I know exactly what you mean about not understanding it, because like I'm from the DC area, right? And there ain't no 5%, or at least there wasn't much in
right.
And so I knew every word to Enter the 36 Chambers, but it wasn't until I went to jail with some New York people that I learned what they was really even saying. You know what I'm saying? I just thought like zigzag, zigala was something that sounded cool.
Right. No, for sure. Their slang definitely sounded cool. I grew up in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. I was born in LA, but I grew up in Amsterdam till I was 18 and then moved back to LA. So over there, because a lot of people always tell me you don't really sound like an LA rapper. And it's really, you know, as much as I rep LA and love LA, you know, I didn't grow up in LA, my formidable years. So, and a lot of influences hip hop wise in Amsterdam or in Europe in general was very New York. You know what I'm saying?
So, see, that's why I wanted to touch it with you on about, like, other than like how dope Circus was, like from your verse, I could tell that you're like a pretty knowledgeable rap historian. And like, you know, I don't usually ask that, like, who do you listen to or who you influenced by, but like, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
33.
Oh, see, I thought you was like 23, 22, but still, you was
a good sign.
Yeah, most definitely. But you was talking about music that would have came out when you was like 12 to 15 though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, I mean, I was already into hip hop at that age, but also, like I said, when I got introduced, I had this like older family friend when I was like maybe 9, 10. He was like in his 20s, you know what I'm saying? And his mom and my mom used to be best friends. So he used to come and one day he pulled me aside. He's like, yo, I like, he noticed how much into hip hop I am, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, well, if you're really into hip hop, like, let me show you, like, this is like the real shit. You know what I mean? And actually the first album he played me was Gangstar, Hard to Earn, because Gangstar was his favorite. You know what I'm saying? And for some reason I was like immediately captivated by it. You know what I mean? And then
Lemonade is a popular drink, and it still is. I catch more props and stunts than Bruce Willis. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and then he actually gave me a list of 5 albums after Hard to Earn, and it was literally Enter 36 Chambers, it was Illmatic, it was Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders, it was KRS-One, Returning to Boom Bap, and I always forget the 5th one, but I want to say it was J. Rue the Damager, The Sunrise in the East. So like that's
oh my God.
Basis, yeah, that's like the basis of my hip hop at a really young age. Of like the love for hip hop that I got was birthed out of those 5, 6 projects. You know what I'm saying?
Do you fuck with Southern rap?
With what rap?
Southern rap.
Of course, but like, you know, that was like later when the South took over. You know, it took me a minute to adjust because I was only used to New York and then LA, obviously Snoop Dre and stuff like that. So it took me a minute, but like really when Lil Wayne was taking over, that was the time that I really got into all the Southern rap, you know, even T.I. and shit, but like the Wayne run was really what did it for me, you know. So, I think for a lot of people out here.
Do you like any rap that wouldn't be considered lyrical?
Oh yeah, right now I love all kinds of rap, you know. You know, you always start off with something, and then I started appreciating just greatness, period. And I started learning, like, for example, I fuck with the Migos heavy, you know what I'm saying? Took me a while in the beginning too, again, because it's such a different sound. And then I realized the greatness of what they do. You know what I mean? It's just it's just, you know, hip hop has grown. It's like, what is it? 40, 50, almost 50 years old now. Right. So, you know, there's a lot of different lanes in hip hop now. So, you know, and I appreciate all of it. I might bump some type of rap more when I'm, you know, just for my own pleasure. You know, I'll be bumping that Griselda shit, and I'll be bumping all kinds of, like, you know what I mean? Like, still that like raw hip hop shit, but I like a lot, you know what I mean? A lot of different types of music for sure.
How about non-rap? What's the last non-rap music you listen to for pleasure?
I always been into reggae. I always been into R&B and soul, but honestly not as much these days. I guess that's it. You know, I appreciate all kinds of music, but that's pretty much it, you know.
Oh yeah, good musicians like good music. So you was talking about Amsterdam. What are some what do you think some Americans' misconceptions of Amsterdam are?
You know, it's funny because I used to say I grew up in the Netherlands because I didn't literally grow up in the city of Amsterdam. And Americans just would look at me funny, like they wouldn't really understand what that even is. And then when I would say Amsterdam, they're like, oh, that's fire. You know what I mean? You got the weed and the prostitutes and shit like that. And I guess that's the image of Amsterdam. You know what I mean? That's all they think it is. And in a way, they ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up, that was the only country where marijuana was legal, prostitution was legal.
Were you there before the Euro?
I was there right before the Euro, yes.
Because before I caught my F, I went to Amsterdam before the Euro. And it was just amazing what my money got me.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, man. Nah, it's a beautiful place. All of Europe is a beautiful place, but especially Amsterdam. You know, it's a very cultural, different place. And now they kind of trying to clean it up. You know what I mean? They closing up coffee shops. They closing up the red light district, or at least making it smaller, I believe. I haven't, you know, I was there for over the holidays, first time in many years, just to visit, but I ain't really been there in a minute.
They make it safe for people to use hard drugs over there, right?
I guess, bro. I mean, hard drugs is not that's obviously not legal anywhere, but yeah, they would just be right in your face. You know what I mean? They be standing there right in the corner, on the corner, like, yo, what do you need? You know what I mean?
Well, I meant not get them. I'm talking about like the system makes it like for instance, I know for a fact they have way less heroin overdoses or opiate overdoses over there.
So see, I never really lived there as an adult, so just all through high school, I wouldn't even know about the heroin overdoses. But
they extra progressive. Like a lot of shit we criminalize here that's like a disease such as drug addiction. But they actually try to get you help over there.
Yeah, and that makes sense because that's definitely the type of country it is, just overall. That's one of the reasons. See, the way I was born here, grew up there, and then moved back here was my pop's side of the family all lived in the Netherlands. My mom's side of the family all lived in LA. And You know what I'm saying? So I was born here on some like immigrant shit. You know what I mean? Like they make sure their kids are born in America so we become citizens and
Right.
eventually can move here. That's some you know, I'm Armenian. It's like we all over the world. So, but technically we lived in the Netherlands, but then my pops passed away when I was only one. And for some reason, my mom still decided to stay over there. And it's really, um, I believe it's two reasons. Number one, to kind of be close to him and his family, but also just the system, that the way the country's set up for like a single mom with two little kids is probably easier over there. You know what I'm saying? Than out here. So I could see how even with the drugs, that country would take care of its people a different way. You know?
Or I mean, like I said, it ain't like I lived there or nothing, but just when I was over there, and given I was living in DC during crack at the time, so it wasn't the nicest of places, but it just Amsterdam just seemed like a nicer place. Like it seemed like people were more concerned with helping people instead of just minding their business.
It's a good place. It's a very educated country. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh man, some ill ass bookstores, like some of the best bookstores I ever saw in my fucking life.
Really, yeah. But not only that, it's just in the culture that everybody goes to college. Like it's a very small percentage of people that don't, you know what I mean? And honestly, that's how we was raised, like almost like not realizing there's even an option of not going to college. Like that's what you're supposed to do, you know what I mean? That's
Or
part of everyone's life. Like when they're 18, 17, 18, you go and live that college life, that student life, they call it over there for a few years. And that's just like part of culture over there, you know?
and a lot of bilingual too. And I'm curious. I mean, I hate to make assumptions, but I assume you speak more than one language, right?
Yeah, well, obviously I grew up there, so Dutch used to be my first language, and then I'm Armenian, so we speak Armenian at home, and it's English, and I also speak Farsi because my parents actually from Iran. Like Armenians are all over the world, so it's a whole international situation over here, you know. But
So
yeah, I
so
speak two
how does I'm sorry to interrupt you, but does that help you with song construction? Because I know in different languages, like, and you could probably testify to this, there's like, concepts that you can't vocalize in English. Like, Squid Games.
Yeah, I never watched it.
Well, there was this lady, and the translation always said, "I know what I know because I know what I know." But people that speak Korean said what she was really saying, despite being a poor country girl with education, I'm intelligent.
Wow.
But we didn't have words for that concept.
Sure. Yeah, you know, every language expresses certain things differently. And yeah, without knowing the language or even a piece of the culture, you wouldn't, it's hard to translate sometimes. You know, even with this Yalla Habibi, I try to explain to people what it really means. And I think people kind of get it. But yeah, you know, I think it definitely helps me. Just being multicultural brings a different element, you know, musically and conceptual wise. And you know what I mean? So it probably helps.
Do you listen to a lot of your music? Because your subject, like, I mean, it's so cliche to say somebody's eclectic, but like not just your delivery, like the things that you rap about are much more over the map than the usual artist.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm just true to who I am and what I experience in life. And I feel like it's such a hip hop thing to like represent where you from. And especially me being Armenian, no one's really from my community done it yet at this level that I'm doing it at right now. So,
But then you got mad records where just like how nice you are, or you got like the joint, like I mean, you don't got like for the ladies type joint, or at least I didn't hear it. But you definitely got shits that could knock in the club. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, here and there I do that too. But yeah, I mean, I'm still just a hip hop kid, and I want to be compared to just as an MC and as an artist. You know?
Ill ass stoner records, like bro, your stoner game is on point. Like man, bro, a lot of people try to make music to smoke to, few succeed.
That's a fact. You know, I tapped in with my man Berner.
I love that album.
Yeah, bro. You know, a couple years ago, I linked up. My business partners are basically partners with Berner and Cookies and Backpack Boys and all the like big cannabis companies, you know what I'm saying? So I've been smoking for a long time, but that definitely brought a whole new element to it that, you know, I fuck with Be Real heavy, you know, Be Real is really my big brother. And like, he's done a lot for me super early on in my career and introduced me to a lot of people that opened doors. And then me and Berner linked up. I went on tour with him right before the pandemic. That was the last tour I went on. We did like 30 cities all over the United States. And then we locked in and did a whole project, you know? So
did you ever have to tap out smoking with
them? Definitely I can't hang with Berner or Be Real, you know what I'm saying? Those fools are crazy, but who's even crazier are the fans. Like when we was on the road, like these Berner fans, every other night the fire alarm would go off just from the smoke of the crowd. You know what I'm saying? One time in Boston, actually, the whole shit got evacuated as soon as Berner got on stage. So they like
Damn.
smokers, like we be backstage and Berner's like, yo, these motherfuckers are crazy. Like, you know, I'm a smoker, but we gotta rap. Like we rap live. You know what I'm saying? Like we real MCs, we rapping live, but there's so much smoke. It's like, yo, I can't breathe over here. You know what I mean? So it was definitely shit like that happening, but it was all a lot of fun too. You know.
Shit, I guess if y'all go on tour again, y'all can wear them M95 masks and shit.
Now we got the masks.
Shit, that was speaking of Be Real, since you brought it up, you heard that new Cypress Hill album?
The new one, which one? The last one I remember was Elephants on Acid, no?
Nah, there's one that came out about a month ago.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, check it out. It's on all digital streaming platforms.
Now I'm embarrassed. I don't know it because B is really my man, but I ain't seen him in a few months.
Yeah, man, they got Dizzy Wright on it. Demrick, man, I done did an episode with the drummer yesterday, and Dizzy Wright recently, and I don't know the name of the album off the top of my head, but man, I listen to like so much fucking music, it'd be hard to remember shit.
Yeah, I'm actually pulling it up right now, but shout out to Cypress.
Back in Black, and that shit go incredibly hard. It's another one of their albums. It's you know that except for one album, all their albums, you know, it's got one producer for the whole album, so it's got a cohesive sound, and it's Cypress Hill at their best. And like people say this shit all the time, like they still sound like themselves, but they don't sound dated. And in this case, it's actually true, and they just some publicist shit. You feel me?
Yeah. That's the key. That's what we were just talking about. Be Real's another one of them. You know what I mean? Like I did a few joints with him. He was on our Berner album too. I got some unreleased shit with him too.
Oh yeah, I definitely caught that verse. Shit, man, that Berner album, y'all had Styles P, all that shit. You know, another Joe, not on that album. That song you did with Joe Budden was insane.
Yeah, you fuck with that. That's been a minute, you know. I think I dropped that around 2016, 2017. I believe he had just retired or he was about to retire because I got that verse like a year or two before that. But yeah, you know, I came up in that underground lyricist, that spitting kind of circuit. Like you said, joints with King Crooked and King Los, and I got some shit with Joel Ortiz and Terminology somewhere out there. And you know what I mean? Like real MC shit, because I used to like look up old Wake Up Show freestyles and try to like, you know what I mean? Like that's the level I wanted to be at as a spitter. And then as I, you know, developed and evolved as an artist and as a person, I felt like I started making way better music now, but still keeping that lyrical, you know what I mean? That skill set.
Hey, you might know this, but I'm gonna tell the world a secret. You know, a lot of those cats a lot of cats that are lyrical that were out in the CD era, they didn't like doing verses for people that they didn't think are good, but then they realized they were missing out on a lot of money.
Right.
So they started doing a code. If they don't fuck with the music, they don't say the artist's name or their name in the verse. And I notice everyone shouts you out when they make songs with you.
Hey, everyone definitely not only shouts me out, but yeah, I've been getting a lot of love from a lot of people.
Did you know that shit?
Not what you just specifically said about shouting out. No, I didn't know that.
Hey, go back and listen to shit, and you can tell like, oh, they just did that for the bag. They ain't fuck with that song.
Sometimes you can definitely tell it was just done for the bag. You know what I'm saying? And then you can see when it's more organic, and you know. And I definitely pride myself in, you know, like all these records that I'm sitting on. 90% of them, we was in the studio together with all these people. Except French, actually, he sent it over, but everybody else, we was in the studio, and I feel like you could feel that energy, you know.
Definitely, man. And I've kept you for a minute, so let me try to wrap this up. But I just got a couple more jumps. When you made that song with Game, he knew that much about the Armenian situation, or did you have to help? Like I know you wouldn't have wrote his lyrics for him, but maybe gave him some details.
Nah, not at all. Actually, the reason I asked him to get on it is because first time I did a song with him was that was like the first time I had a big feature on a song. I want to say it was 2012 or 2013. It was a song called Lost Angels. So he actually lived in this area in LA called Glendale. where all the Armenians be at. That's where I'm at right now. That's where my store and my studio and shit is at. So he came across a lot of Armenians, you know what I'm saying? And that's actually how we heard about me too, because I had just dropped my first shit or whatever, and it reached his ear somehow, and I got a call from Game. So long story
Oh,
short,
that's dope as shit.
yeah, that was fire. And then, you know, and then a couple years after that, we actually did that first song. And then, you know, we always kept in touch, but he was always repping. So, and then when I came out with this Armenian genocide T-shirts, I did the song and we had the shirts. You know, Game was the first celebrity to wear it and post it and write like a whole caption about it. Like he knew a lot about it already. You know what I'm saying? And even without me asking or anything, a couple times he had made some posts regarding to some Armenian shit. So I knew he really knew and he cared, and he had a lot of people around him that were Armenian. So when I did that song and I wanted to do a remix, I hit him like, you know, he's the person for that, and you know, he killed that shit. So
damn, that's super solid. That speaks very well of him, because I never heard him virtue signal about that shit either. So
yeah, no, he definitely made several posts about it throughout the years. Yeah, he a good dude, man. I did like 3 songs with him at this point. The last one's been a while, but the genocide one is called Open Wounds, about the Armenian genocide. Open Wounds X. That one is shit. What year was that? I want to say 2017. So that was the last time I did a song with him.
And you know, before we finish up with your socials and your release dates, I just wanted that T-shirt. Where can people get it at? Because and where does that money go to? Because it helps support the cause, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So really the way it started is, you know, I did a song about the Armenian genocide, really about crimes against humanity. But me being Armenian, and I feel like I represent where I'm from, I want to do a song to tell the story of my people. You know, hip hop is the voice of the people at the end of the day. And so I did a song called Open Wounds. And then we did these shirts with it that say our wounds are still open. I got my man grabbing one real quick so I could show.
Oh yeah, they're fire. I saw the pictures where everybody wearing
that
them.
shirt, you know, kind of went viral, for lack of a better term.
Yes, I saw Cardi B was rocking one.
Yeah, a lot of, you know, we got it out to like whoever we could get it out to, as far as like people in the, you know, people in the hip hop community. And like I said, Game was the first one, and then it just trickled on from there. Earlier on, when I mentioned Meth wore my shit on stage, it was that shirt too, you know, early on when we started. So that shit became like a big thing, especially in our community. Every time we had protests and march with tens of thousands of people, everyone was wearing the shirt. You know what I'm saying? So we started working with a lot of organizations in the community and like donating proceeds and stuff. And then eventually we turned it into our own nonprofit organization called Open Wounds. You know what I'm saying? So we try to give out like little scholarships and things like that, you know, just to help the community out, you know, and send money back to Armenia and things like that.
Cop books for students in college and shit.
Oh, yeah. So it's been a real blessing, bro.
But you can still buy them?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's openwounds1915.com, 1915. That's because that's the year the Armenian genocide happened. You know what I'm saying? Or just hit me on IG. The Open Wounds has an IG as well. Again, it's at openwounds1915. Or, you know, just hit me up and I'll direct you at Armene.
That's what's up. And what's the name of the album, and when can we expect it to be released, and the next single?
I don't have a name for the album yet. Right now, we're just pushing this single with French called Yalla Habibi, produced by Scott Storch. Just dropped a few weeks ago. The next song, we choosing between 1 or 2.
Please do the Nas jump, man. I gotta hear the Nas jump, man. The motherfucking publicity package y'all sent over had a link to hear it, and the damn link expired. I was blown.
Oh yeah, no, we ain't. I think we deactivated that link a while ago, so I don't know who sent you what exactly, but you'll hear it soon, bro. That song,
I cannot fucking wait. I can't wait to hear that one.
That's definitely one of the next ones that's dropping soon. So within the next month or max 2 is gonna come out. But yeah, just be on the lookout. I'm gonna drop a few records first, and then kind of feel the momentum and see when it's time for the whole project, you know. But we going into this summer strong, you know what I mean?
Word. And last thing, your socials.
It's at Armene everywhere. It's spelled the letter R and then mean, like a mean motherfucker. You know what I mean? RMEAN. Follow me, add me on Spotify, Instagram, whatever you use. Tap in with your boy, you know?
Mean motherfucker on the mic, man. Man, congratulations on all your success. I can't wait to hear the music you got coming out, and I'm about to go listen to mad of that shit over and over. And like I said, this ain't fake me. I rarely get this enthused. Like, I love your fucking music. Anyone who hears this show, make sure you go listen to him on DSPs. If you old school and you gotta get bootleg CDs off the sidewalk in New York, whatever, go find you some Armenian music.
Say that again, so I put it on the snap. You know what I'm saying? My man said he fuck with the music for real, for real.
Oh yeah, I don't never lie. Like I avoid the subject. I fuck with this music hard body, the lyrics, the range of content. Go get you some Armene. Follow on any DSP, the YouTube channel. Like I said, if you gotta go get a motherfucking bootleg mix CD off the sidewalk in New York, off a towel, whatever you gotta do, get some Armene music.
Yes, sir. Tap in with your boy. I appreciate you, bro. Much love.
No doubt, man. I'll be in touch and you take it light.
Yes, sir. Likewise.
Yes, sir. Peace.